Look, I'm not a gimmick. There's not a rapper I'm trying to mimic. My life it moved by a mile a minute. Make the best of it while I'm in it. Talk shit, I'll never get offended. I'm so pushing to the limit. I could shake 20 haters, ignore them, and handle my business. Hollywood got my name cemented. A threat to every rapper in the game or that's ever been in it. 5'7", but I stand tall, built for war, soar like the Great Wall of China. Hear my footsteps like Yao Ming's behind you. Don't remind me, do whatever to you, fly back and it'll be hell on earth for you to find me. They say we all look alike, cook alike, but they ain't know we all crooks alike. I changed the game when I took the mic and freestyle what it took for you to write. Good night. I'm off this Tusmoove all day. It's official. The pen and paper.